Hey guys, we're going to go over mindstorming again. It's been a while since I talked about it, and we've gotten some new subscribers since then. So I just want you guys to, this is one of the main things I do a lot. So mindstorming, what is it? Well, Brian Tracy says it's created more millionaires than anything else that he's aware of. So I think you really should write it down, mindstorming. And I want you to write down exactly how to do it. You have an idea, right? Your big goal, your fantasy. And so what mindstorming is, first of all, you have all that you need inside of you. You just never have, most people don't ever think with any sort of depth. Everything's surface level, right? That's one of the huge problems with our paradigm, right? We're living surface level. The conversations we have, our interactions, the shows we're watching, nothing's really in depth. So mindstorming, you're going to force yourself to write out 20 action steps that you think will get you to your end goal. And so the first 5 are going to be pretty easy, right? The next 5 are going to be harder, right? And what you're doing is you're really reaching into the depths of your mind and thinking. And what it does is it forces you to really think long and hard, and the answers will come. And so you've written down the first 5 that are probably very easy, and then the next 5 are going to be a little more difficult, right? 10 through 15 is going to be hard, and 15 through 20 are going to be, you really have to think. And it just crops up all of these amazing ways to get you to the end result. And they say that a lot of times it's the 19 or 20th one that you wrote down that really changes everything, because you're really getting some of the most potent value out of thinking, right? Things that you just on the surface you can't even think of, right? So you write these 20 down. You force yourself to write down 20. And then the simplest way is to just start doing those actions, right? Say you want to earn $100,000 in a year. You've never done it and you want to do it, right? Some of the easy things are going to be get to work earlier, stay later, find opportunity for overtime, right? I mean, there's a lot of simple ones, right? And as you start writing these things down, you're going to start uncovering things that your mind is like a heat-seeking missile. Once it's fixated on something and you give it continuous energy and it knows that's what you want, it starts giving you ideas. The problem is you don't think you could do it, and so you don't write it down. It gives you every bit of information you need to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, but you don't believe it, right? So you just start going through these things. You start showing up to work early. You stay late, right? And you start checking these things off and you're doing them. And as you get down to the harder ones that you've written down, right, you're going to start seeing your results change a little bit, right? Some of the things are going to be, you have to change the way you feel about money. Money is amoral. It's spiritual. It's not good or bad. It's what humans do with money that makes it good or bad, right? If you attract a lot of money and you do a lot of good with it, that's amazing. If you attract a lot of money and you do a lot of bad with it, that's not amazing, right? And so you can see it's not evil. Money's not evil. Money doesn't have an emotion, right? It's spiritual, and it wants to be attracted to people that are thinking about the good things they're going to do with their money, not hoarding it and moving away from everyone and not blessing anyone, right? And then you start feeling abundant, right? I did a video earlier. I've done videos before where you have to attract what you want, but you have to become attractive, right? This goes for anything, a relationship with someone, or the money that you want, or the job that you want. But you would never ever sit in front of a fire and expect heat without starting the fire and putting wood in there and getting the fire going. You would never sit down and be like, where's the heat, without the fire being started, right? You have to take action steps, right? We've gone over this a lot. The laws of the universe, you can't cheat. You can't take the shortcut. You can't be lazy, right? You have to give a lot of energy to get a lot of energy back, right? I've done Newton's balls, where you drop one ball and you get a little bit out. You drop 2 balls, you get more out. You drop 3 balls, you get 3 out. That's as simple as it gets. And so you're mindstorming, and you make this a habit, right? And these are exercises you can do all by yourself. And the more you do this, the more ideas that come to you, and they're better ideas, and they start to be moving you a lot quicker towards your fantasy or goal. So mindstorming, look it up. You can look up Brian Tracy. He's amazing. He probably explains it a lot better than I do, but I use this all the time, right? And then you get really good at doing it, and you just do the bottom 5 that were the really hardest to think of to do, right? Once you're used to walking through the terror barrier, right? In the beginning, you're not. Your habit is staying in your comfort zone, right? We can't change anything by staying in our comfort zone. And this is what most people do. They stay in their comfort zone. They get up to the terror barrier, and then they resort back to their comfort zone, right? You have to walk through that, right? Some of the things are going to be, say you wrote a book and you want to get it published. You're going to have to take some action steps that are very uncomfortable. You're going to have to let someone else read your book, and that could be scary. You're going to have to take it to a publisher, and they might not like it. You might have to go to 100 publishers before you find someone who sees the value in what you've created. Your family members might be telling you, yeah, it's all right, right? You can't let any of that detour you off of your goal, your fantasy, right? You have unwavering faith. It resonates with you that your book is good. And your 5 senses up here are going to be screaming. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. That's what most people live by. I'm trying to get you to live in the spiritual realm, where you detach from all the physical and you don't let this distract you. And you take criticism. Sorry about that, battery's getting low. And then you take the criticism and you tweak the thing that you've been creating, right? There's nothing wrong with honest feedback. I love honest feedback. I want honest feedback from you guys, right? So I can get better at my videos, right? And you just keep doing this mastermind, this mindstorming thing over and over and over and over and over, right? And it moves you. You start to see your results change, right? That book's going to start to sell. You're finally going to find a publisher, right? And it's walking through the terror barrier, right? And I've done videos on having faith. You have to have faith to finish this process. You have a sense of knowing that whatever it is you've created is going to help someone. And this is why I really like creating things that help people. I don't like selling trinkets or things that people don't need. I'd much rather sell something of value. And sure, selling things that help people, only 3% of the population is going to buy that thing, right? There's only 3% of people are trying to really change, but there's 7 billion people. 3%, that's a huge number, right? And so one thing can be you need to get an LLC, or you need to get a bank account. You need to show active faith that things are going to be coming to you. You need to get a bank account set up for your business, right? You need to get a CPA because there's going to be tax challenges because you're going to sell so many of these things that you need to be prepared. You're showing active faith to the universe. I know this is coming. I'm prepared. I'm not going to sit back and wait for it to happen and then all of a sudden be in a panic. What have I said before? It's way better to be prepared for an opportunity and never have that opportunity show itself than it is to have an opportunity show up and not be prepared for it because you can't take action on it. Right? I see this all the time. Someone's selling a house. They are primed to make a real run if they understand opportunities and they've done some due diligence and they have a plan. But if they just put the money in a bank account and just don't pay attention and spend it all in a year or 2 or 3, right? They wasted that. So I really want you guys to take time, do this mindstorming, right? It's a lot like, it's can be uncomfortable. You really have to think, and your body is going to be screaming because it doesn't like to sit still and think that hard because you've never done it before. It's like a muscle. You have to exercise it, right? I've given you guys the Mel Robbins 5-second rule, right? Which is everyone should be doing, right? You count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you get to 1, you take the action. You force yourself to take it. Pretty soon your body knows when I start counting backwards, I'm doing whatever I said I was going to do. Right? Please utilize that. If you need to look at Mel Robbins and she can explain it, if that's what you need, I'm okay with that. But I really want you guys to start forcing yourself to get through this terror barrier. Because once you go through the terror barrier, you don't ever resort back. It's the known now. Your body finally calms down and goes, oh, hey, that wasn't so bad, right? There might be a little bit of panic there for a little while, a week or two or a month, right? When it's scary and you're spending money that you don't really have, or you're showing active faith and you've reached out to some people that you really look up to and you know they're going to give you some feedback and it could be bad, right? That's when you need to be watching my videos, right? How to have faith. Remember, I've done videos on this. It doesn't matter what they say. Find the good in it. If it's really, really bad, there has to be some good in there. If it's really, really good, there has to be some bad in there, right? Action and reaction, you can't have just one, right? And so all of this energy that you're putting into yourself, into whatever it is you're trying to create, all comes back to you. But if you're doing the bare minimum and then going along the rest of the day and then 95% of your day is unconscious and it's negative and it's lack and limitation and it's doubt and it's worry, that 5%, right? You really start to understand, I really have to change the ways that I'm thinking and smile and be happy and know you're going to get to wherever it is you're going because you're actually staying consistent, right? And you're heading to where you want to go. You're working on a worthy ideal, which means you are successful. Even though the money might not show up yet, even though the things that you think make you successful, those aren't the things that make you successful. Having money doesn't make you successful. If you're a rich jerk, you're not successful in my mind, right? If you're an unhappy entrepreneur, you're not successful. I would never look up to you and want to be like you, right? You really got to question, what is success in your mind? So mindstorming, start this exercise, start doing it. Even if you just force yourself to do it the one time and then really ponder on it and think about it and look at it and start taking those action steps. You have to get so deep in your mind, and then you start to understand everything is inside of you and you have to get it out, right? What do we know? Writing creates thinking, right? Thinking creates images. Images control our feeling. Our feeling raises our vibration or lowers our vibration. So we want to be thinking about things that raise our vibration. And as our vibration raises, we are more willing to take that action step that's scary. And if we take enough action steps that are scary, our results have to change. You changed the pattern. I know it's simple. I know it sounds too easy. But guys, that's why I've spent so much time studying, because I want to break it down to the simplest form, to make it the easiest for you. I want a first grader to be able to do this, right? But you got to get through all your limiting beliefs, that you have to fight and struggle, that everything has to be hard, that you need to put someone down to get yourself up, right? You can see where all of that's false. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Keep smiling, keep writing, keep thinking, keep pondering. All of this comes back to you, multiplied, right? If we give a lot of energy, it multiplies. If we give a little bit of energy, it adds. If we go to the gym and do the bare minimum, we get a tiny result. If we go to the gym and we max out to failure, our muscles grow massively, right? It's the same concept, right? And when you're working your mind out like this, it is painful because you're not used to doing it. You're going to be tired. It's going to make you angry. It's frustrating. It's hard. It's the hardest work in the world. That's why nobody does it, right? 3% of the people in the world have goals, and all the other 97% of people in the world work for those 3%. You start to see how this is true. Get in the 3%. Make a committed decision. You got this. I promise you. Reach out. Ask questions. Find good information. Devour it like a scientist. What do scientists do? They devour the information and they just prod it until they can't debunk it. And they know that's truth. It's the same thing you can do with this information. You can write it down, look at it, ponder on it, get online, find other things, studies that have been done, that prove that this is truth. So thanks, guys. I know, with inflation and, it's not looking good, but I promise you, if it seems really, really bad, there has to be good attached to it. Find the good that's attached to the negative that you think is going on. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Keep smiling. Please like and subscribe. Hit your notifications. Some feedback would be great. I'm going to just keep talking about the things that I'm doing to better me that I found that work. The easiest and simplest, so that you can take the easiest actions to start understanding this information and find the truth in it. Because once you find the truth, then I don't have to keep talking. You'll be off and running on your own. Thanks, guys. Bye.